Here to introduce eArtius to you. They're a partner of Ansys, and my name is Simon Pereira. I'm more on the product management side over at Ansys, but I met Dr. Sebastianov, I don't know, maybe 9 months ago at a conference down in California somewhere. Maybe that was Texas, I don't remember. But we've been talking ever since then, and we think there's ways that we can work together, including the way that they've now incorporated themselves into Ansys, but there'll be other ways as well. They will have their algorithms inside Design Explorer at some point. But we thought we'd get together and share all of this with you. At Ansys, the way we see robust design is as a path, where you start down here at the bottom end with single physics solutions, accuracy, robustness, and speed are your main concerns. And then once you get that down and you start to rely on your single physics, a lot of people will then evolve or progress up the arrow towards multi-physics solutions, where now you need the integration platform that is the main focus of Workbench, so that you can integrate those tools together. Once you have that taken care of, and you're starting to be able to be capable at single physics and or multi-physics, you might want to move up to the next level, which is looking beyond a single design point. A single design point tells you how your design, whether it passed or failed. But if you can go into a what-if study, you can start to run a parametric variation and say, well, what if I change the thickness to this or the inlet velocity to that, or there's all different things you could adjust, and then see how those affect the result. And to be able to do that in a simulation environment rather than in a physical prototyping environment, that's one of the main advantages of simulation, is to be able to try various things before you actually get out in the field. And rather than just using it as a single one of, or using it forensically, where you wait until the part breaks and then you investigate with simulation to find out why, we want people to start to lead, to do simulation-driven product development based on these sorts of technologies. And so Workbench as a platform has been designed as a parametric platform that allows you to make parametric changes to CAD or within Design Model or within Workbench, or within parametric changes to the loads or boundary conditions or all those sorts of things inside the actual simulation and see what happens. Now, with all that power under the hood, of course, Workbench has its own, and we recommend any sort of design exploration type technology. Things that use, instead of just using a what-if study where you randomly try various points, we recommend a design of experiments where you would actually use a scientific method to break up the design space and sample various points. That would be for design exploration. What eArtius is going to talk about today is how they don't break up the whole design space and waste time looking at everything. They focus on that Pareto front, which we can also talk about in other things. That's more of an optimization. But just to keep that a little difference there. Response surface technology is in Workbench Design Explorer tools. It allows you to generate a contour in 3D space that represents how different input parameters combine to affect the output. Correlation, sensitivity information, reporting, all these things. Next step up after that is optimization, and that's where eArtius' primary focus is. They've got high-end advanced algorithms that focus on the Pareto front and can handle very large numbers of design parameters and give you a nice optimum in a relatively efficiently in a relatively short amount of time to get your answer back. We're also planning on publishing our API and working with companies like eArtius so that they can plug their optimization tools directly into the Design Explorer optimization product. But it's just another way to provide their technology to the customer base. And then the pinnacle is robust design. That's when you say, yes, my design exploration taught me about some of the sensitivity. I found an optimized design based on my specified parameters, but in the real world, parameters vary. We have manufacturing tolerances, we have operational tolerances, we have just plain, wanting to use it over a range of conditions. And we want to make sure that all of those conditions satisfy the output so that we have a robust product that won't fail in any one of those combinations. And so for that, you want Six Sigma analysis, probabilistic algorithms, adjoint solver methods, all these sorts of things. Now, Design Explorer has Six Sigma analysis, and we're working on some of these other methods, but we also have them available from a number of our partners. We feel that as you increase along this path, the further up you go, the more you get out of simulation. It increases your understanding of your design, not just knowing about a single design point, but understanding it thoroughly, which then increases your innovation, and that increases the return on investment for simulation as a whole. So Ansys is very pro-simulation. It's very pro-optimization and all these things. Let's just take a survey quick. And the first question of the survey, does that pop up? Here it comes, is how far along this path do you think you or your company are? So maybe we can get some group participation in here. Are you still only doing single physics? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone's got to start somewhere, but we're just trying to gauge how far up this path you are. Are you regularly performing multi-physics simulations? Do you regularly perform it either with a single solver, like a conjugate heat transfer with Influent, or maybe even better with, well, not better, but beyond that, with fluids combined with mechanical, or fluid combined with explicit, or maybe mechanical with electromagnetics, things like that. There's all kinds of combinations. Are you performing parametric what-if studies? Are you taking advantage of that? I mean, if you're in Workbench, it's easy, but you could also do that with other tools. Are you taking advantage of simulation to drive your development? Are you regularly performing design exploration? Are you studying correlation, sensitivity, determination? If so, check that one. Are you regularly performing simulation-based design optimization with tools like eArtius or EyeSight or Design Explorer? Are you regularly performing robust design with Six Sigma analysis? So we're very curious how far along the path you are, and if you want to talk to us about where you are at some later point, we'd be happy to have that conversation with you. So I'm going to slide this out of the way, and we'll check back on those results in a moment. So Ansys Design Explorer is a tool that's provided by Ansys. It doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that are available with eArtius, so don't take a look at that product if this doesn't meet all your needs. But its main strength, and its strength shared with the new eArtius plugin that Dr. Sebastian was going to talk to you later about, is that it's hooked into Workbench. And Workbench is that parametric multi-physics base that allows you to model with all this sort of automated updates that make it easy to use. It's also a bidirectional CAD system integrated, so that when you make a change to the parameter manager to change your design, it can also change the original CAD. It's not changing some copy of the geometry, so you can send that back to your design studio. Remote Solve Manager lets you do simultaneous solving. Scripting lets you automate all sorts of fun stuff. There's also reporting and a whole bunch of other things. So we hope you check that out. Once you're inside Design Explorer, you can create design of experiments. You can create response surfaces. This is down here is direct optimization. You can see it's an adaptive direct optimization. We have correlation, trade-off studies, Six Sigma analysis, sampling plots, sensitivity analysis, all sorts of good stuff in there as well. We also have a variety of partners. So while Design Explorer is the general purpose optimization tool that's best integrated with Ansys Workbench, there's many other advanced tools that also do very well in particular regions or industries, or even some broad category ones. Some, like eArtius, have even taken it that extra mile and data integrated with Workbench. So eArtius is actually available within Workbench. It appears in the same place that Design Explorer appears. You can drag and drop it onto the desktop and work with it in that way. And it's, as you'll see in a moment, it's set up in a nice, easy-to-use manner. Other tools available at MATLAB for people who want flexibility. There's Mode Frontier and OptiSlang. There's other tools like RBF Morph or Sculptor. Those are tools that can be used to morph your meshes. Tosca is a world leader in non-parametric optimization, and they've gone and integrated themselves right inside Ansys Mechanical using the ACT. So that's kind of a very powerful integration. Other ones, the QFin and other niche optimizers. QFin's targeted at electromagnetics, cooling, things like that, cooling of heat fins, and so on. There's lots of tools out there. We're also partners with DesignForce, EyeSight from Dassault, Optimus from Noesis, Keys from Red Cedar, and so on. Today, we're going to be looking at eArtius. They have a very advanced tool set with efficient algorithms. They can manage larger numbers of parameters than Design Explorer can handle. And of course, their algorithms are also very efficient with more typical numbers of parameters, dozens or whatever. They're also, a key strength is that their algorithm focuses on the Pareto frontier, and Dr. Sebastian will show you that shortly. One more quick survey before we get into the thing, actually, and then a couple little commercials for other surveys that are coming up. Let me drag this out. Are you already using a suite? Actually, let's back. Oh, too late probably to back up to the other one and see the results. I guess we'll talk about the results later if you guys want. We can send those out. But are you already using a design optimization tools in your engineering? Are you using eArtius? Are you using OptiSlang or one of these other tools? Now let us know if you're using Design Explorer or eArtius or some other tool, or if you haven't quite got there yet. And we'll let this plug on for a minute while I get into the next little bits here. There's an Automotive Simulation World Congress coming up, October 30th and 31st. If you're in the Detroit area and would like to come to that, we'd love to have you. There's also the Confidence by Design workshops that are being done all across the country. So if you're near one of these cities and you want to pop in and check that out, you can register at ansys.com/confidence. and you can go to one of these as well. There's training. Training classes are offered locally. You can go to various offices. If you've got a large enough group of people, more than 3 or 4 people, we'll even come to your building. You can do that locally or online. The online training is kind of nice because they break it up. Instead of doing the whole 3 days or 1 day or whatever in a classroom, you can do it 2 hours at a time on your own schedule. With an actual interactive, if you do it on your own schedule, you lose the teacher part, but they are recorded at a certain time when there's an instructor available and he'll answer questions in a live sort of way, and then the recordings are archived so that you can review them later also. There's a full schedule, Ansys.com support training center, and you can see what's available there. There's also a blog that they've got up now. You can go up there and look at blog.ansys.com. People are communicating with each other. Customers are communicating with each other, talking directly to each other, finding out what's working for your colleagues might be a way to save you some time. So taking a quick look over here at the chart. Sorry, I forgot to bring up the other one before it was cleared. So Design Explorer, about 18% of you. Actually, that's exactly the percentage that we get when we look at the entire Ansys community. So it's amazing it came out so exact, even with an odd number like 3 out of 17. eArtius, not yet, but I'm sure if we had a larger group, we would have some interest there or some examples there. And then other, we got 9. Maybe some of you will like the eArtius technology. And then not quite yet, 5 out of 7. So it's a not quite yet crowd that we really want to talk to and get you going on these types of tools. All right, thank you very much. Oh, actually, sorry, Derek was able to pull up the poll for the previous question. So for those of you who are interested, here you see the mostly only doing single physics. There's just 1 out of 15. Quite a bit of you are doing some parameter analysis, 4 out of 15. That's not bad, better than some of the other groups we've talked to. Regularly performing design exploration, 6 out of 15. That's really good, actually. I wouldn't have expected such a high number. And regularly performing simulation-based design optimization, 7%, and then 13% doing Six Sigma. That's excellent. Is there internal pressure to move up the path? Nobody says there's no pressure. That's normal, I guess. 40% say there's a bit. 27% say there's a lot, and 13% say there's significant pressure. And this is generally what we've seen. Lots of people are pushing to get simulation up the path. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to pass the ball over to Dr. Sebastianov, the founder of eArtius.